What's the toughest racetrack in the world? Le Mans? Nürburgring? Spa? Macau? Well, we think it's a place called Wisborough Green, and it's only active for 2 days a year. Forget the 24 Hours of Silverstone or even the Wales Rally GB. The Wisborough Green 12 Hours might just be the most physically demanding motorsport event in Great Britain. The sport of lawnmower racing in Great Britain was, like all great ideas, created in a pub. The Cricketers Arms pub, to be precise, in Wisborough Green back in 1973. A bunch of blokes were fed up of how expensive it was to get involved in any kind of motorsport. When they looked over the village green, they decided that everyone had a mower in their shed, so why not race them? They formed the British Lawnmower Racing Association, and it wasn't long before the sport took off. It grew and grew thanks to its charming novelty of a lack of need for sponsorship, as the entry fees and cost of building a racing mower is as cheap as you can make it. There is no commercialism or advertising, no cash prizes, and no modifying of engines or equipment, making it, in the opinion of Motorsport News magazine, the cheapest form of motorsport in the UK. All you really have to do is remove the mower blades, and you're ready to race. There are British and World Championships, the British Grand Prix, and of course the Wisborough Green 12 Hours. Racing legends have raced and won it in the past, including a team made up of 5-time Le Mans winner Derek Bell and Formula 1 hero Sir Stirling Moss. And in fact, there's method to the apparent madness. At first glance, you smile at these charming machines, but when you get closer, you realise this is actually much tougher than you first thought. There are 4 groups of competition. Group 1 is for the most basic of lawnmowers. You know, the ones you have to push to cut your grass. To race one of these, you literally have to run behind it and push like hell. Yes, there really is a class for these, but for some obscure reason, it doesn't usually attract many entries. Group 2 isn't much easier. These are for cylinder-driven mowers of the variety used to mow cricket lawns. Attach a towed seat and you're ready to go. But it's a particularly physical exercise, as you have to steer with your feet. Group 3 makes life slightly less exhausting, but only slightly. These are for wheel-driven garden mowers, the ones that farmers or groundsmen use. They can be pretty fast too, with 50 miles an hour generally a common top speed. To race one is pretty straightforward. You ride on the back, put your foot down, and hang on. Group 4 is for the tractor mower variation, which have a bonnet mounted over the engine. They can do a similar speed to Group 3 mowers, but require a lot of added preparation. You can't just show up and expect to race in one. You have to make sure the machine conforms to the regulations, just like any other form of motorsport. Go, go, go! The 12 Hours starts at 8 PM with a traditional Le Mans start, running to the mower and hurtling off into the distance. Dusk is falling, you've been up all day qualifying, practicing and making adjustments. Now you need to race, for a whopping 720 minutes, in pitch black, with very little means of lighting, no suspension, on a bumpy, uneven grassy field. If you don't take it seriously, and you don't prepare both physically and mentally, you could be on a hospital bed after the very first lap. Teams assist the organisers through the night by taking turns at marshalling, ensuring that the race can see its natural conclusion. And bad weather doesn't stop racing either. If it rains, you plough on, quite literally. And there's no peace for the wicked. Mechanical problems are almost guaranteed to strike. In this sport, you can't really expect to build a lawnmower that will race non-stop for 12 hours without incident. You just have to make sure you've packed enough spares to fix it when it does go wrong. And I do mean when. Once deep into the night, visibility is impossible. If this is how much you can see, think how much they can see. The minutes tick by, and the only way to make sense of it all is to rely on the timing screens. But one thing is for sure, if your mower isn't broken, it will be soon. The only thing you can do is whack it back together and get back out there. But it doesn't really start to hurt until you get to the 2 AM mark. Halfway home, and you know you've still got 6 hours left, you need food, water, determination, and true British grit to see the finish of this race. Remember that phrase, work hard, play hard? In this arena, that takes on a whole new meaning. It's all hands to the spanners and axle grease, as everybody works tirelessly through the night to keep their mower afloat. Nobody ever said this was going to be easy, but by comparison to some of the races at Silverstone, Alton Park and Cadwell Park, you might as well be dancing with death on the tip of a volcano. Your back aches, your arms ache, your bum is in a completely different shape to the way it started, and every single element of the mower is being pushed to its absolute limits. This is not what the mowers were designed for in any way, shape or form, but it seems that the men and women in this particular paddock are almost genetically designed to cope with this. Any normal human being would probably keel over at the first sign of fatigue. Not these guys. It's hardwired into their DNA. You press on until the bitter end, no matter what. That's why people who run refreshment stalls are the saviours of the sport. And the queues are always incredibly long. Dawn breaks. The mist makes everything worse. You're groggy, barely able to sleep, and barely unable not to. You're practically begging for 8 a.m. But when it does arrive, the more mowers at the flag, the better, is generally the policy. But whoever finishes is already a winner. The only thing left to do after that is put it all away, then wait 12 months to do it all over again. Why? Because it's amazing. Brutal, but amazing.